Physical models provide the main link between fraction, decimal, and percents as it shows in the figure below. The rational number wheel and the 10 by 10 grid base 10 models are suitable for fractions, decimals, and percents because they all represent the same idea. The rational number wheel with 100 markings around the circumference is the model that percents as well as fraction models are for hundredths. Make sure we teach that percents are to the hundredths and a whole is 100%. The same is true for a 10 by 10 grid where each little squares represent inside of 1% of the grid. Each row or a strip of 10 squares is not only a tenth but also 10% of the grid. When talking percents, the decimal always looks up at the percent of hundredths. Though students must have some experience in situations without context, as in the figure on the left, it is important to have them explore percent relationships in real-world, realistic contexts, including the incorporation of models. Here are some guidelines. Initially, limit the percents to familiar fractions. Require students to use models, drawings to explain their solution. Do not rush development of rules and algorithms for different types of problems. Use the term part, whole, percent, or fraction. Encourage mental computation. Following problems meet the criteria to familiar fraction and compatible numbers. Have students work with these. Identify each part as a part, whole, or fraction. Draw a bar diagram to explain or describe thought processes as shown on the right. For example, the PTA reported that 75% of the total of the families were represented at a meeting. If students from 320 families go to the school, how many were represented at the meeting? Or, baseball team won 80% of 25 games it played this year. How many games were lost? Many percent problems do not have simple familiar numbers. Frequently in real life, an approximation or an estimate in percent situations is enough to help one think about the situation. First, when the percent is not a simple one, substitute a close percent that is easy to work with. Second, select the number that are compatible with the percent involved to make the calculation easy to do mentally. Examples are 83,000 seats in a stadium, 73% filled. How many people were in the game or at the game? Instead of using 83,000, you can use 80,000 or 60,000. Instead of 73%, you could use 3/4 or 75%. You also use tips, tax, or discounts. For tips, to figure out a tip, you can find 10% of a number. Taxes, depending on the sales tax rate, you can find 10%. Discounts, 30% decrease is the same as 70% of the original price.